Yeah, hi, I'm Paul Archer. I want to talk to you today about confidence and how much confidence can help you when we're selling or coaching. Now, I don't know how they managed to convince me, but my two main women in my life, my wife and my daughter Bethan, managed to drag me to Cheltenham recently to do some shopping, some shoe shopping at that. And 4 hours later, after trudging around every single shoe shop in Cheltenham, my daughter found a pair of shoes that she wanted to buy. And she insisted on wearing them as well. And I did warn her that it might cause a blister or two. And sure enough, once we got back to the car, she started complaining of a blister. And I told her in a daddy kind of way, I said, Bethan, I said, shoes need wearing in. They need to be worn in first. Otherwise, they'll give you a blister. And you really don't want that to happen, do you? But later that day, I was just finishing off some flat pack furniture from IKEA that I've been putting together. And you know these kind of things, you've got your screwdriver and you're screwing thousands of screws on these flat pack furniture. And I haven't got workman's hands anyway, as you can see. And I got a little blister there on my thumb where the screwdriver was attaching it to it. And my daughter came up to me, she said, "Ow, Daddy, that looks really painful." And I said, "Yes, Bethan, it is painful. It's because the screwdriver I'm using hasn't been worn in. That's why Daddy's getting himself a sore thumb." Now, I was expecting my daughter to come back and say, "Daddy, don't be silly." But no, she looked at me and said, "Oh, I see, Daddy, just like my shoes this morning." You see, what happened there was that Bethan believed me. Okay, it was a logical thing, but the fact was I sounded confident. And I do try and sound confident when I talk to my daughter. In fact, it's probably years of training people. So what do I do to sound confident? Well, first of all, I use open body language as well. I try and look relaxed. I put on a straight face as well. I lower my voice tone so it becomes slightly lower. And I slow my words down a tad as well. And it works every time. As long as the argument is logical and precise, it works every time. So how's this useful then in sales and coaching? Well, quite so simply, it's useful in many places actually. Here's some examples for you where you can put on a confident act if you want to. Say, for example, you're on the telephone and you want to get through to the prospect and you can't get through the gatekeeper. Just sound confident then and they'll put you through. Maybe the same thing with reception as well. You want to get through to the gatekeeper to the person that you want to get hold of. Maybe you're in a sales situation and you want to close the business. You want to ask for commitment. Sound confident then. Maybe when you're interviewing people for a position in your company. Confidence, you see, is very attractive indeed. Maybe when you're giving feedback to a member of staff, maybe it's a frank piece of feedback as well. Maybe then you need to sound confident. Or you're agreeing tough objectives or a stiff target with your team as well. Maybe then you could sound confident. Maybe if you're asking for a pay rise from your boss as well. I mean, the list goes on, doesn't it? Don't overdo it, like all these good things. Don't overdo it, but learn to put on a confident act, and it'll help you. But what of Bethan and screwdrivers then, and needing wearing in? Of course I levelled with her. I have to be honest about it. After all, she might think Daddy's a bit of a silly Billy after all. But hey, the problem hasn't gone away because there's this phrase called Peter and the Wolf that keeps coming to mind. Maybe Bethan's never going to believe me ever again. I hope you found this useful. I'll speak to you again soon. Bye.